So I'm going to kick us off recording. All right, we're going now. Hello everybody. Well, I think everyone should be jumping on soon. Sorry, bud. Okay. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Tamara.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. All right, Rob. You want to kick us off this week? The last time I sort of monopolized everything.
Yeah, no worries. In fact, I kind of liked it because I think Michelle will tell you I pretty much spend too much time talking on my call. She doesn't want to hear from me anyways. So anyways, so the whole premise, I think, like we talked about last week, is really getting into a habit of doing the vital behaviors on a daily basis. From the workouts to the nutrition to the personal development to the inviting. And those are obviously the four main components, of the business, and get into a habit of really doing that on a daily basis. And I know that me personally, it helps, posting on a daily basis and making sure that is something that I do and follow up and check in. And I think for a lot of team members that decide that they want to do this too, maybe the first week is a struggle that they find themselves, the last thing I want to do is post in another group. But once they start doing it and they start saying, okay, well, I can get a couple more invites or I can share with some more people, it becomes a little bit easier and they find different ways to do that. And it becomes easier. So that's kind of the whole goal. Is, okay, well, how do we improve ourselves simultaneously being a little bit better in the business? And I think that for me anyways, that's what it is that I need the personal development aspect of it. I need the, sharing with others aspect, because I find that when I share with other people, I get more excited about it as well. When I see somebody else making strides and results, I find that my fitness, my health, my nutrition are a little bit better as well. I don't know if you find the same, but it's kind of, when I became a coach, my fitness jumped up times 10 because I felt to myself, well, how am I going to be accountable with other people if I myself, can't do it? And so I think, if you want successful coaches, you have to do with, the vital behaviors. And so this is like a start to build a great team.
Absolutely. So how have you guys been doing with maintaining your vital behaviors? I know all you guys are products of the products. I really want to recognize you guys for doing incredible jobs. Some of you have incredible graphics when little Japanese anime, and then I love that chest day one. That's great. I was going to come over, babe, at a chest day. I mean, really, you guys do some great stuff that you're posting in the groups and being really consistent. So I really want to recognize how terrific you guys are doing there. But let's talk about how we've been doing with the other three vital behaviors besides being, products of the product. How have you guys been doing with that? When we start, let's see, who's in my top right here? Michelle, you're in my top right. So why don't you unmute yourself and tell us how you've been doing?
Honestly, I've been slacking. I do really well for the first 4 days in the week, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes and I feel like it's hard for me. I don't know. I used to be spot on every single day, and then summer came and I fell into a total funk, and I guess the 4 days is better than what I was doing a month ago. So I feel but I know I've been slacking on posting in the Team Spirit group. But I'm always good with my workouts and my nutrition and my Shakeology. That's just part of our life now. I really slack at the personal development, and I know that is so key to my success, because I'm sure you have all experienced it. It goes right along with it. I want to say probably 3 weeks ago, for a couple of weeks, I was spot on, every day doing all my invites, doing my personal development, blah, blah, blah. And it shows, not that this is about money for me, but it shows in what ends up in your bank account, and I that's never my main goal in this. I like to just help people, and I like people to get healthy, and so that's my main goal. But I feel like that really reflects when you can see that, like, oh, when you're consistent, it does come. And, everybody always tells you that, consistency is key and don't make it harder than it is. Just do those vital behaviors and stuff. It's just that I'm working on getting back in the swing of things. And like I said, I think for the last couple of weeks, I've been like 4 days, and then, it's that Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing that's been getting me, but I'll get there.
Well, I'll tell you, and I'm sure Rob will tell you, that you are not alone in this, right? I mean, you are not, like, everyone else is not perfect, and you're the only one like missing out on a couple of days. We all fall down. I've been Rob and I both in the business for a while. We're both Star Diamonds. We both fall down. And Rob less than me. I fall down a lot. And then I pick myself back up and then keep going. And I was on call last weekend. I had a busy, or the weekend before, it was a busy weekend at work, and I was back and forth. And I hit my numbers for that week, and it just happens. But we say it to other people. We don't always apply it to ourselves, but it's about progress and not perfection, right? You don't have to hit 7 out of 7. That's a great goal, but getting 4 out of 7, 5 out of 7, 6 out of 7, and then keep working towards a goal is important. And you also need to look at what's holding you back on the days that you're not there. Is it because you're too busy, or is it because you haven't scheduled the time that you need to dedicate to the business? So maybe you can't do an hour of work that day. Maybe you can only do half an hour, 15 minutes, or maybe you have to schedule your posts, on Friday night or on the Thursday night, and use Hootsuite or something and schedule your post ahead of time so it's on there. You have to look at what you think is holding you back. But definitely don't, you weren't beating yourself up, but don't beat yourself up, because it's not, it's certainly not, you're not alone in this. And just one thing I want to mention before we keep talking, it's okay if we talk about money in this business. It really is okay. We all know we're here to help other people. We know that's how we drive the business, by focusing on helping other people achieve their goals. But, we're paying $100 a month for Shakeology, so it's okay if we talk about making money at the business. It really is okay. And no one's going to think badly if you want to be a millionaire and Christine Dwyer or, Janelle Summers being part of Beachbody. It's okay if that's your goal. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, awesome. Thank you for sharing. Tamara, you're on my bottom left there. How did you do this week?
I think I'm doing okay. I think I've noticed that the more that I am active and posting and things like that, somehow people just notice, and they come up to me. So, and also I think I feel better when I talk to people when I'm consistent with a program and not starting. So I've dedicated myself to Core de Force, and I plan on doing it every single day. And it just gives you more confidence to actually talk to people and tell them that, this stuff really works. So yeah, that's that part of it. Invites are going okay. I have a few people that actually that I've talked to in the past, but like now they're getting a little bit more interested. So I'm working on them. And I have one customer who just became a coach who I'm really excited about, and I plan on mentoring her a bunch this week. And what else?
That's a big one, Rob. That is someone who jumped on one of our early webinars and now signed up as a coach. So we're very excited about that.
That's awesome. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, she learned a lot from that, and she bought the Core de Force Challenge Pack, and she's really enjoying Shakeology. So she loves it. So.
Terrific. Awesome. It's cool. And I'll tell you, Tamara, that your joy for Core de Force comes out. I wasn't going to work out this morning. It's my rest day. But then last week, you're like, tell me what you think of like the dynamic strength. I'm like, great.
Oh, yeah.
Dynamic strength, and now my arms hurt. So thank you for that. Tomorrow I'm going to get my butt kicked at MMA because I'm tired. Thanks. But Rob, you were going to say something. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, I to me, it's one of those things that very infrequently do I find somebody that doesn't get a huge benefit out of Shakeology. I mean, to me, it's meant so many so many things. And I think it's important really for us to stress what Shakeology is when we introduce it to other people, and I don't think maybe I do a good enough job, because I had, a potential client that's looking to get a challenge pack, and he's like, well, I got to get protein and I got to get some multivitamins. I'm like, no, this contains everything. I said it contains probiotics and prebiotics and your daily nutrition, and this is kind of like one-stop shopping. You don't have to go to all these other different places. And I think that's the importance of it. You don't have to, be an expert and put all this stuff together into this like super shake yourself. It's already pre-done. It's kind of like, for instance, today I had the day off, and I had to go food shopping. But in order to go food shopping and to get what we needed, I had to go to like 6 different places, right? So I had to jump all over the place to essentially get what I needed to complete the order. Well, that's kind of with Beachbody, with Shakeology, in that, if you ordinarily need prebiotics, you got to go buy prebiotics and probiotics, and then you got to, figure out some type of a protein drink, and then you got to figure out how to get all your nutrition and your superfoods and something to give you energy, and something for fiber, and figure that all out. And Shakeology has that all in one. And so, when people look at the price, they say, geez, that's kind of expensive. Well, if you know what you're looking for from a protein, just a protein supplement, they're very, very expensive in its own right, because the higher the quality protein, it doesn't include a lot of preservatives. It doesn't include a lot of filler. And so if it's 100% whey or 100%, pea protein or whatever the case may be, or casein, it's going to be very expensive, just for the higher quality. And so Shakeology, not only is it higher quality from a protein standpoint, but it's higher quality from everything else that it includes. So, from my standpoint, I've got to do a better job of educating the people that are looking at it and helping them understand as to, what's included. You don't need to know all the nuts and bolts of the 75, 78 ingredients, but certainly 4 or 5 bullet points as to why it is more expensive, because you don't need to go get branched chain amino acids. You don't have to get pro and prebiotics. You don't have to get protein. You don't have to get everything else that goes along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, Jen, you're front and center on my screen. How's your week going?
Last week started super strong. Like, I was so excited to be in the group and like remotivated after I'd been kind of in a slump. And then we had a huge ordeal at school that kind of lasted a couple days, and that just kind of went like just threw me for a loop. Like, my brain couldn't focus on anything. But the good news is, like, we're all safe at school and everything's taken care of, but I still haven't gotten back on track. So besides doing our normal, like Michelle said, like the workout and the nutrition and the shaker, that's just our life. That's just what it is. Now I just got to get back in gear on the other stuff.
Yeah.
I hadn't done PD honestly in quite a while, so it felt really good to listen to some stuff last week. And I was really excited about that. And then now I just need to get back in the groove.
Okay. Look, what happened. It's done. I'm glad everything's okay. And as exactly as you said, it's just time to sort of refocus and get back to it. I think PD is always the key, isn't it? I mean, that's just the thing that really just brings you everything back home to you, and when I get lost, and it honestly happens to me a lot, and I get lost or off track, something happens, work, pulling me in different directions. And if I listen to something, and that PD book, I hope you guys got from Audible that I sent you. I forgot to ask Rob to check, but if you guys didn't get it, the Building a Network Marketing Business, and he has that story about the sower and the seeds. And that always pulls me back. It just reminds me that all I gotta do is keep going in the same direction. So I agree with you about the PD. I hope that helps bring you back on course. And then it's just a matter of being consistent, for sure. Okay, and it's Abdul, right?
Yes.
All right. So you with the incredible, you have all those crazy like anime posts in the group, right?
Yeah, I tried to make it kind of fun, and I have to say that since I changed my post a little bit, I got a really big boost on my fan page.
Hmm.
I think since I joined the Team Spirit, I think last week I was at 275 likes, and I looked at it earlier. I'm at 310 now.
Nice.
I got a really big boost on my fan page, and I would say refocusing on the PD. I'm slacking a little bit. I did three PDs last week. I listened to one of the PD that Robson from I think was Seth Godin Dip. I'm still listening to it, and I did a little bit of my usual Les Brown that kind of pumps me up before I go to my appointment. So those are my PDs.
Nice.
And I would say invites are doing okay. I have probably added about 12 to 13 people on my network.
Wrong.
And I'm presently working with somebody to possibly get either T25 or Quarter Force. So she's still trying to decide which one to do.
A program or a challenge pack?
She's going to do a challenge pack.
Oh, terrific. And she's going to get the T25 discs, that challenge pack?
Yeah.
Wow, that's very cool. I don't know, you guys, I haven't sold a T25 challenge pack in a long time, mostly because if they're going to get it, I usually just get them the
digital
challenge pack.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because she definitely needs the nutrition because she's trying to. I just added her on the team on it. It's Savannah, so I've been in touch with her all this weekend, and we've been talking on how to get her back on track. Mainly, what she's been doing, it's a lot of cardio, running, and she's trying to bulk up and get tone. So I gave her a couple recommendations. She's looking to invest into a home gym. Like in February. So once February comes around, I think she's going to do either Body Beast or Hammer and Chisel because she saw my post, my Body Beast post, and she saw the progress that I've been having with Body Beast. But she said that the workout kind of is a little bit scary. I was like, well, it is a little bit impressive, but you can start really light, get yourself like acquainted with the moves, and then from there just upgrade.
Tremendous. It's funny. It's something when I in the webinar that Rob and I do, I talk specifically about Body Beast and its effect with women and how women tend. We don't talk about weightlifting a lot with girls and how critical it is for them for maintaining, body mass and lean muscle mass and bone density and all those things. It's really important. And that Body Beast sort of is one of those programs that gives them the opportunity to do that without having to go into the bad gym culture. You could just sort of do it in the privacy of your own home. So I think that's a terrific program, particularly for girls. So that's excellent. Nice work, man. That's good work. I see my hers is locked out there, so I'll just go. I was listening to one of the National Wake Up Calls. I fell behind a little bit, and they were talking about the vital process, which is different from the vital behaviors. And the vital process was about getting customers on, having the customers have success, then having them be coaches, and then mentoring them as coaches. And for me, that was something that really struck home because lately I've been, I was focusing a lot on recruiting straight into the business, and I wasn't having a lot of success there because that's not how I got into it. I got into it as a customer first. So I, switched my sort of direction, and instead of recruiting, I really was just focused on getting people started with the program and Shakeology as a customer, and I've had much, much more engagement, and I felt much better about it. I didn't feel like I was pulling teeth, so I really was very happy about that. My social media posts, I schedule mine in the morning. This morning, and actually for the next week, I have early meetings at work, so I know I'm going to have to schedule them the night before. Otherwise, I'm going to fall flat. So I always schedule them, and then I write out my names on a list, and it's a very short list. I just have 5 follow-ups and 3 new conversations. And then I write my 3 new conversation names on a Post-it note, and I stick it on top of my notebook, and I put it in my briefcase, and I go to work. And then at lunch, I get to work. As soon as I hit the ground, as soon as I get into the door, I'm running, just like all you guys are, I'm sure. So at lunch, when I finally get 5 minutes to myself, I start those 3 conversations. But if I didn't have the names on the list, then I start looking around, trying to figure out who I'm supposed to talk to, go back through my Facebook Messenger list, which is like the way I keep track of everything, right? And it just wastes a lot of time. So if you write the names down ahead of time, even the night before, Jim Rohn says you end your day before you start it, meaning you know what your day's supposed to look like. And you sort of plan it out the night before. So tonight you plan out what tomorrow's supposed to look like. Who are you going to follow up with? Who are you going to start the new conversations with? What's your workout going to be? When you have in Shakeology? Get all that stuff settled out, and then you don't have to guess tomorrow. You already know, boom. And then all of a sudden, this hour-long process takes 15 minutes, and then you're much less likely to fall off track and miss it. So if you spend a couple of minutes tonight planning out tomorrow, even just 10 minutes, 15 minutes when we're done with this call, you make tomorrow much, much better. So if you can work with a list, that's something that's really going to help you guys a lot. Okay.
It's also kind of the dirty little secret, too, in that the more you do it, the better you get at it, so the less time it takes. And so when you don't do it on a consistent basis, it takes longer just to get, A, into the habit of doing it, but B, into what's the most efficient way for you. But when you start doing it on, like Rohan, when you start doing it on a consistent basis every day, it's boom, boom, boom. You know exactly what it works to fit into your schedule. Like for me personally, I'm kind of like that eat that frog type of a guy where I get the workout in first thing in the morning, and then right off the bat, it's start the, conversations, all the posts get done for the day, before I even get off to work, before the kids get off to school. And it's all taken care of, in which case then I know that the rest of the day, if chaos happens, I've already done, what I need to do to at least, do something marginal in the business to move it a little bit forward that day. So I think ultimately it's a matter of finding whatever works for you, but I think it's just the same exact way you would schedule your workout. My big thing is for people that, say I can't consistently get my workout in, I tell them to schedule it like a business meeting. And I think that whatever time you want to try to devote to the business, you schedule that out as a business meeting and say, for this half an hour, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get my post done, or I'm going to follow up with these people, or, whatever it is. And you get that done, at a time where, it's, and just get it out of the way, get it done, and you're done with it. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to stress about it the rest of the day. Like, for instance, today, I went to the Pats game last night. We didn't get home until about 1 o'clock in the morning. The alarm went off at 3:45. I had every intention of waking up, and needless to say, that didn't happen. So I didn't get my workout in until about 10:30. I had today off. But like for that 3 hours, I was like all stressed. I'm like, oh my God, this like workout's like hanging over me. I got to get this done. I got to go food shopping. There's a million other things I got to get done. And so to me, because it was not in my routine, it was like I was antsy about it. So I can only imagine, like, if you just roll the business and hope to catch up with it sometime throughout the day, and it's not a routine or it's not planned, that not only do you feel like some sort of a anxiety about it, but, it may not get done, which is just as dangerous as, I think when you try to do something like that and you don't do it, you feel like you failed, and it's not necessarily that you failed. It's just that, life happened. So if it's 15 minutes, schedule 15 minutes, whatever you think is doable.
Rob, I think we got to talk about Coach Basics. You want to talk about Coach Basics? Yeah.
So I know Jen and Michelle and Abdul, we try to do Coach Basics in some sort of a format before, by posting, every day, different things, different topics. And it wasn't bad, but I think it got just too convoluted as far as we had a million moving parts, different people posting here and there. And, I know you guys already have a million other things going on, and the last thing I wanted to do is add like something else to it. So what me and Rohan had done, we talked quite a bit as far as how best to do it. I've on a lot of other diamond calls that I've been a part of as far as how other teams do it, trying to get a sense of what's the most successful way, because ultimately the best way to make sure that as a team we grow and we're successful is by making it duplicatable. And what's not duplicatable is me trying to teach my specific coaches on my own, you trying to teach your coaches on your own, and so on and so forth, because then it's up to the skill of each coach and the time that each coach has to devote to that person to be able to train them. It could be that, Rohan for a week is tied up with work or on call, and he's not able to help a new coach. And that new coach is just sitting there for a week stewing, saying, I want to get going, but I have no idea how to get going, or whatever the case may be. And we all have lives like that, for a week on time, you just don't have the time to spend doing that. And so we've done a Coach Basics, and what we're going to do is put it up, and the Coach Basics will essentially be a 3-tier system that will have 3 waves. The first wave will be 7 days, and it will encompass different topics, and then the next week we'll have different topics in the third week, and we'll kind of, get a little bit more involved as we go down each tier. And so if you have a new coach, you just enroll them into tier 1, and then you wouldn't enroll them into tier 2 until they indicated that they were ready for tier 2. Hey, I listened to all the videos and the links that were in the first wave of Coach Basics. I think I'm ready for week 2. And so that's kind of the theory of that. And so the more, like I said, the more duplicatable we can make it, I think ultimately it makes it better for everybody.
So Tamara, you have your new coach, and it would be a terrific opportunity for her to get involved in Coach Basics. We've run, I'm sure you guys have all been through Coach Basics. I think I went through like 4 times in different iterations, and there's stylistic differences, there's content differences, and eventually the version I went through was 60 days, 30 days, and by the middle of that second 30 days, I was like, oh my God, when is this going to end? Even when I'm like administering it, I felt like, oh my God, when is this going to end? So I can imagine, going through it. So Rob and I have shot some film, really short videos, 4 or 5 minutes. And hopefully it's something that you can get your new coaches involved with, and then move them along as they get stronger. And if you want, you go through it with them, because it never hurts for us to go through the basics. The content is obviously very similar because the vital behaviors have not changed, but they're still it's still sort of reframed in a way that's more relatable. So I think it's going to be really terrific, and it gives you an opportunity. So now you've got a really easy funnel, right? So you have people that are interested in becoming coaches, either they're existing customers, which is probably the best, or they're people just are at the right time to start their own business. You can invite them to our webinar, then we send them back to you. If they're ready to go, they sign up, then you put them in Coach Basics and move them along through Coach Basics as they get stronger. And then you invite them to our team calls, so we're all part of the same, on the same page. It's a very easy sort of system, and then when they get coaches of their own, they just plug into the same system. So invite them to the webinar, put them in Coach Basics, move along on our team calls. So you have a very easy way, very duplicatable. Your coaches can just do the same thing. And as the coaches have come along through that system, they're much more comfortable recommending other people to go through the system. Same way, if if you did 21-day fix and you had great results, you're probably going to talk about 21-day fix a lot. And it's the same idea. If you've gone through this sort of training system, you'll be able to recommend, and they'll be able to recommend people going through that training system. But I think it'll be really fun, and I think it'll be very effective for our new coaches. And then we'll see how things go. We can always modify as we go along, and it'll be very helpful for Rob and I to get feedback from you guys to see how effective it's been. So I think it's really good stuff.
Ro, with Coach Basics, is it going to be through like a Facebook group, or is it going to be like they get an email?
No, I think we're going to do it in the Facebook group. I tried to auto-respond to the email. I was just an utter disaster. So I think we'll do it in the Facebook group.
Okay.
I think we've always had the best success with that. I don't know, Rob, have you ever tried it with an autoresponder group? Jeez, what a mess.
Yeah, a long time ago I did, and it was getting stuck in people's spam, and it was And then if you didn't have the perfect email, you didn't know if they were receiving it, or if they there was a mistype or typo, or I think ultimately right now Facebook is still easily the easiest way.
Okay, cool. So before we wrap up, does anyone have any last things or anything they want to bring up, questions they want to ask, or procedural stuff they want to go over? Anything anyone talk about? No? Okay, cool. All right, so quick action steps just for next week. One, first and foremost, make a list to work from. It'll be much easier for you guys if you do. Your consistency will go up. Secondly, focus on your personal development. I think that's really a critical aspect of this. Rob and I talk about a lot in our webinar. And third is, if you have coaches or enroll them in our Coach Basics. Rob's created the group. And if you have prospects, invite them to our webinar, and we can sort of follow them along on that funnel so that they can get in, a good exposure and then get on into Coach Basics and get some good training. All right.
And I guess that's the other thing I want to quickly touch upon is that, we have the webinar we do every single Monday night at 8:00 Eastern. And so if you do have somebody who's interested in the business, it's super easy just to ask, hey, Rob, can I have the link so I can hand this out to, somebody who's interested in the business? Or if they can't make the webinar, Rohan records it via YouTube, and we can send that recording. And I've done that quite a bit because they can't watch it live. And they can watch it at their own convenience. And I know Mike does his, coach's sneak peek, but I think the problem with that is that it's just too long. It takes too long for the information. The videos are great, but, depending upon, they're 5 to 10 to 15 minutes. And there's a lot of information there, and there are 15 posts. And so, if somebody's not hardcore into the business, and they just kind of want to see whether or not, it's for them, that may be a huge amount of time for them to get to information that may be pertinent to them. With the webinar, you're talking about 30 to 45 minutes, to figure out whether or not this is an opportunity that they'd like to be a part of. And I think it's an easier vehicle to invite somebody to rather than a 4 or 5 day sneak peek. But for what it's worth, it's available to you another way to make it easily duplicatable.
Excellent. And guys, just if you have questions and you want to either you're on Rob's team and you want to talk to me, or on my team, want to talk to Rob, both of us are available to you guys if you just want a different perspective on things. And just so we can do this as a team, we're all here for each other's success. All right, guys, so we'll wrap it up then. I hope you guys all have a good night, and we'll meet again next week, right?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, good night, everybody. Thanks so much.
Hey, good night.